Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so I was going to go, it's going to be a very hot day today. It's a 6-hour driving day as well, and I was going to go to Hanging Lake, but you need to have reservations. And the one day I wanted to go, they just happened to be closed for trail maintenance, which is fine. I'm all for, like, you know, maintaining the trail, but it means that I have to find something else to do. So I'm going to go to this other hike. It is so hot right now. It is 63 degrees already. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't think it'd be this hot. It's been cold the other places on I-70 that I've been, obviously at different elevations. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm just gonna head back toward Glenwood Springs, and then about 20 minutes south, back kind of the way that I came yesterday from Aspen. I really like Glenwood Springs. I haven't really spent a lot of time here though. More, you know, it's every time I come back, it's like I don't want to do everything in one go. I'd like to have it kind of as a stopping point on the I-70, so I can come back and spend a day here or spend a few hours here. So there's plenty to do. So that's why I'm kind of like, it's one of these places. I have a couple places where I deliberately don't do everything, because I want to be able to stop and do stuff and not just sit in my van all day because I've done everything. But anyway, back on the I-70 right now. So I'm going to this Mushroom Rock, and then 2 other viewpoints. Kind of going to do like a 6-mile loop, and then head about an hour and a half to Grand Junction and finally take a shower. Oh, it's a big day in my life. Finally take a shower. Oh, that river is beautiful. Wow, there's tons of whitewater rafting out here as well. So I'm going to go do the shower and then drive 4 hours to Salt Lake City. And then depending on what time I get into Salt Lake City, it's a Monday. If I get in there relatively early, I'll stop at a Starbucks and work on some videos. This tunnel is making a weird noise. Anyway, basically like work on some videos. And by the way, Glenwood Springs is only 5,700 feet. Maybe that's why it's so warm here. That's weird. I thought it was a higher elevation. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm probably going to work on some videos. I sorted some videos out last night, did all the renumbering, relabeling. But yeah, it should be a pretty good day. Doing a good hike. Biking yesterday was great. I'm always a little bit like sore in muscles that only happen when I do mountain biking. So that's a good feeling. It means that I worked hard yesterday. Yay me, pat me on the back. And then I'm going to do this hike. So I'll see you when I'm at the trailhead. Okay, let's do it. Hopefully it's not going to be too busy on a Monday, July 15th. So we'll see. There is the rock that I'm going to climb up. So apparently it's kind of hard at first to get to Mushroom Rock. But this is the town of Carbondale, which is right next to Glenwood Springs. There's a lot of like Monday morning traffic. A lot of people, I guess, going to work. I don't know. It's a regular town. But yeah, so let's go to the trailhead. You've got to go into Carbondale and do a whole big U-turn around the roundabout, and then it sends you back out to I-70. So you have to park across the street. You can't just make a left turn on I-70. All right, it's already super busy. I need sun, so I'm going to go up to, I'm going to go in here. There's some runners. I need sun. And you got this RV taking up 6 spaces. I don't know, I just think that's rude and inconsiderate. I get it, like you want to drive a big ass thing like that, but look, dude, seriously. So anyway, okay, I think if I go up to the top, I'll get some good sun up there. So yeah, let me just go up. I could just park here. That might be fine. It might be easier to get out too. There's some trash. People are horrible. All right, let me just park here. I think that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, there's a bunch of these rocks which don't really work too well with a bicycle rack. I could probably go back. Let me go look on the other side. This is a beautiful view though. 4-hour limit for parking. So I'm gonna write a letter. I'm parked right next to the toilet. Okay, I can go back about like 2 more feet, I think. I don't want to block the road here. Yeah, so it says a 4-hour parking limit. In terms of mobility and accessibility, if somebody wanted to do the 6-hour hike and they're disabled, it's going to take them longer than 4 hours. I guarantee you that. So I'm going to, I don't know, write a little email to the city here and be like, yeah, you might need to consider everybody that's hiking here. Anyway, I think that's fine. I think that's good. I've got some sun. This is beautiful. I got my red rocks back. Yay, red rocks. Okay, let me get geared up and let's get going. So I got 4 hours to get this done. I should get it done. It's 6 miles. It should take me less than maybe 3 hours. So it's funny, the outdoors is my office and this is my office parking lot view. Not too shabby. So this is Carbondale. Glenwood Springs is that way, and Aspen is that way. So yes, I got my hiking boots on. I'm all geared up. I've got my hiking gloves and I've got my sun hat, and now the sun's gone away. So yeah, the Jackery died, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I might see if they can replace it. If not, then I will need to get another power bank that has a 12 volt. I don't have a 12 volt plug that works on the Bouge RV. For some reason that's also not working, and they were supposed to replace that and they didn't. So I need to run my fan at night, my 12 volt fan. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do that. I don't know. I do have another fan, and I have a 110 volt fan I can plug into the Bouge RV, and I've got another fan that runs off USB, and those are fine. Actually, I got two other fans that run off USB. So I think I can cool myself down. I'm just worried about Salt Lake City, but we'll figure it out. If not, I can try to go to REI Co-op over here and see if they have a Gold Yeti or something, something like that. Anyway,
sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
I know, go away Siri. Okay, let's go do my hike. All right, I'm on the Mushroom Rock Trail. It's absolutely beautiful. Apart from the one arrogant pet parent who's like, I don't need my dog on a leash. I'm like, sir, yeah, you do. So, all right, so going up about half a mile in. This is great. Not actually very hot at all. So, and not hard. This is supposed to be a hard hike, and it's no harder than Divisadero in Taos in terms of how steep it is. And there's me, proof of life, hiking up. Wearing my Tombstone shirt, which I love because you can't really tell it's from Tombstone, but I just thought it was like the coolest shirt. So, all right, so let's figure out the trail. Hang on one second. So this is the trail that I'm doing. So I'm going clockwise, first to Mushroom Rock and then coming down the back way. And I think the Mushroom Rock part is considered the hard bit, but it's just basically just steep. So it's doable. I mean, definitely accessible, you know, with a prosthetic or not with a wheelchair though. I think it's a little bit too steep for that. But I think you can mountain bike on here as well. That would be fun to like come down here and do like the chunk, as they call it, like the little Black Diamond technical trail that they kind of got here. So anyway, okay. I'm not even at high elevation. I'm only at like 5,700 feet, but I'm just catching my breath and getting my bearings. So let's go look at the view. It's another trail dog. Lots of trail dogs. Okay, oh, this is gorgeous. Look at this. Oh my God. Where's my van? There's also an RV park down there. Wow. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my God, Colorado. Who knew? I've been past this road like 10 times in my life. I never knew this hike was right here. So this is the pet parent that doesn't have the dog on a leash. All right, the tricky bit is done. And let's see what's going on down here. There's a sign. Area closed for restoration. Okay, this is great. You know, it's funny. Like how bipolar, I don't know, not like officially. I don't know what mental issues these people have, but when you have, like, especially in Austin, Texas, right, the worst pet parents. And if you just say, hey, by the way, like you can't bring your pet into the store, they just go ballistic. I have never seen people go from like, you know, calmly walking their dog to, no, I don't know. I'm like, Jesus, woman. Like, literally, I'm pointing at a sign and you're just like freaking the hell out because you don't like the fact that there's a rule that makes you be responsible. I mean, here's the thing. I've seen service dogs get attacked. I'm going to say this probably on every video when I see bad pet parents, because when you're on a trail, okay, and it says leash is required, I don't make the rules. This is city ordinance or national park. Like the influencers that are like mad because they can't take their dog into a national park. There is a reason for that, because the national park has been there for decades or millions of years actually, and your dog can easily mess up the ecosystem. Now a service dog, that's an extension of somebody's body. So obviously the service dog is allowed, but even then there are places where absolutely no animals are allowed except the natural habitat. So, you know, it's just, but I don't know, it's just like that guy right in my face. I'm like, I didn't say anything to him. I'm like, dude, I'm like standing here pointing like at the little sign. So I called the non-emergency line to double check and just say, hey, you know, what do you guys do? And they said, well, you know, we will issue citations here. And they do in Glenwood Springs and Carbondale. I think it's Carbondale that I'm in. They do issue citations if they have all the information they need. And they will call the pet parent and they will tell them, by the way, sir or ma'am, you cannot walk in these, you know, these areas without a dog on a leash. This is like pristine protected area. And most of this area is private land. This is not private land. So there's a very limited amount of space between Aspen and here where you can really do a lot of hikes that aren't private land. So, you know, they've got to preserve it. But still, I'm just like, I have never seen, like, even if you just whisper, hey, you know, can you just like put your dog on a leash? They like just, you know, completely lash out like they've just turned into like the worst like zombie apocalypse participant. I just don't get it, because I've seen service dogs get attacked. You know, I've seen, you know, people with PTSD that have their service dogs that don't want to go places if there's a bunch of like, you know, over energetic dogs running around. You know, it's just like, you know, it's like kind of like, I don't know. It is a big deal, and it's a big deal not just, I mean, I'm just speaking out, you know. And by the way, like, if you are the voice of reason, you're not a Karen. I don't make the rules, but I follow the rules and I enforce the rules. And I'm not afraid, you know, as a British-ish person, to speak up. You know, it's ingrained in my blood. I will speak up for the group because I believe that the group is more important than the individual who wants to break the rules. So, but they just get so, it's usually like older, it's a certain demographic. It's an older demographic. I don't care if the guy's lived here for 40 years, doesn't matter. You know, there's a reason. Obviously, his dog's not 40 years old. You know, his dog wouldn't be walking otherwise. But anyway, but this hike is absolutely beautiful. But still, it's like I can't like run out of the way when a dog comes running up to me. I don't like dogs running up to me. You know, I had a dog, you know, almost bite me when I was a kid. It's like, I don't like, you know, and plus we had rabies like rammed into our throat in England. Like stray dogs have rabies. You know, that was kind of what we grew up with in England. So it's terrifying. But I don't like, you know, I don't like random pets coming up to me. You know, I'll pet a dog and I'll, you know, work with a service dog, you know, that kind of thing. But I just don't like being chased down the street. I can't run away from animals like that. And there's nowhere for me to go, you know, that, you know, I'm going to run into the forest and get impaled by a twig. So, but anyway, it's a big deal. And if you don't think it's a big deal, then you're part of the problem because it is a big deal. And, you know, I check out these trails and I want to recommend them to people that, you know, that have disabilities, because I want to make sure that, you know, they're able to come here with their service animals, or if they have triggered PTSD, that they're able to come here and heal in nature without any incident. But when you get locals like that who, you know, think they run the show and think they can do what they want just because they live here, then, you know, there has to be some sort of recourse and some sort of remedy. And thankfully, the non-emergency line, I spoke to the officer and he's like, yeah, we happen, you know, if we have the resources, you know, to come over there, you know, we'll come over there, we'll sit in the parking lot and we'll hand out citations. Like, we'll do it every day if we have to. And I said, that is fantastic. I mean, mind you, it is a waste of police resources when there's other stuff going on. But, you know, it's law enforcement. If the laws are there, they have to enforce them. They can't just like cherry pick which, you know, laws they're going to enforce. But anyway, that said, definitely recommend this hike. If you do have a dog, please put it on a leash. Because, you know, even if your dog is like tame and happy, you don't know what your dog's going to do when another dog runs at them, or if they run at a dog. And the last thing you need is a dog running off the edge of this cliff over here, because there is a little bit of a ridge line that you're hiking on. But anyway, just be a good human, okay? I mean, ever since I found out that the blind hiker's dog got its leg broken by being trampled by a bunch of pets off leash at Grand Teton last year, I mean, that just breaks my heart. I mean, that's basically that person's eyes and that person's safety net. And, you know, a bunch of people got off the boat and a dog ran up and just kind of trampled the service dog, and broke its leg. And the ranger was like, yeah, now we have to put an extra ranger down at Inspiration Point to make sure that doesn't happen again. So now that's another resource that has been taken because of an irresponsible pet parent. And that is not cool. Anyway, that's my PSA. Again, if you don't think this is an issue, if you think that, you know, oh, you're just overreacting and stuff, you are part of the problem, and I'm not afraid to say it, okay? Everybody has a right to hike, including disabled people. And one of the women that had the 3 dogs off leash, she goes, you know, well, they shouldn't be coming here if they're going to be freaked out by dogs. I'm like, well, that's ableist. And that's what a horribly ableist thing to say. Yeah, stay home because somebody can't follow the rules. No, this is for everybody, and the rules exist for a reason. And, you know, just be a good person, okay? All right, even when I hike with friends and they don't put their dogs on a leash, I'll be like, dude, we cannot be friends. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, my friends are okay. They know I'm going to say something. So they're like, oh, we're around Jenny. We got to, you know, put our dog on a leash and she'll say something. So, yes. The mama bear in me is like, you will all follow the rules. Anyway, unless it's a buffet where it's like a 3-plate limit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting 7 plates of food. I don't care what they say. I'm hungry. Anyway, that's it. I don't know where the mushroom rock is. I think I passed it. Anyway, I probably took a picture of it while I was babbling. But yeah, this is just kind of like your, you know, dead forest trail here. And they also like leave the dead trees because the minerals help the living trees. I learned that somewhere. But yeah, this is great. Anyway, yeah, just be a good human and come out here and do this hike. So I'm doing the whole loop. All Trails has the mushroom hike, the mushroom rock hike as a separate trail. And then this one is the 6-mile round loop. So yes, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, okay, cool. All right, so let me see how far in I am. Okay, I've been hiking for 53 minutes and I've gone almost 2 miles. So yeah, the first bit is very steep. So yeah, I think I passed the mushroom rock. And now I'm going to 3 Poles, mushroom rock, roller coaster, and some other place. Well, hang on a second. Okay, so I'm going to 3 Poles, mushroom rock, roller coaster, and Skeeter's Ridge loop. So those are the 4 hikes that kind of loop together. This is great. Very, very tame. You can ride a mountain bike on here. I've seen some mountain bike tracks, so that's good. But yeah, so usually what I do if I see a dog off a leash, right? I'll be like, hey, hi, can you hold your dog? And they're like, oh, my dog's fine. My dog's a human. My dog plays pickleball on Saturdays. And I'm like, okay, can you hold your dog, please, so I can pass? And then they'll be like, oh, my dog's fine, as their dog's like barreling toward me. And then I'm like, ma'am or sir, like, really need you to hold your dog so I can pass because I'm terrified of dogs. And then I'll say, by the way, your dog needs to be on a leash. And then they just blow up and they're like, whoa! And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. Anyway, that's exactly the 4 like steps that happen every single time. You know, it's just like I'm nice and polite, and then as soon as I say, by the way, you're supposed to have a leash on the dog, and they just like blow up like crazy. I am not kidding. It's like the same, it's like they all read the same book or something when they go to the shelter and they go get their dog. I don't know, anyway, it's a problem. But yeah, it's just, you know, just maybe learn to have a bit of a, like, less, you know, Jekyll and Hyde reaction. Like, I mean, literally sometimes I'll be like city ordinance, or I'm pointing at the sign and they just go ballistic. There's something like, it's almost like the leash is kryptonite and their hands are going to set on fire and their skin will bleed, you know, if they touch a leash. I don't know, I just don't get it. If you're a pet parent and you like, you know, don't, you know, explain to me why the whole leash issue like drives people to just start like foaming at the mouth and, you know, threatening to sue and I'm going to sue you. And one woman, you know, she was holding her dog, which is fine. But the woman behind that didn't have the dog on the leash, they were coming down together just now. And the first woman was like, you know, like, we don't have to put dogs on the leash. We live here. And I just laughed at her. I'm like, you're just mad because you're wrong. So I didn't even say anything. I was just like, bless your heart, as we say in Texas. Bless your heart. Anyway, I don't get bent out of shape about it, but I do speak up, and I do, you know, I'm polite at first, and then if I'm like, you need to put your dog on a leash. This whole video is about dogs on leashes. Anyway, only because I, you know, service animals that I work with, and I want to recommend this to people, but I want to make sure that it's a safe place for those that have, you know, the, you know, PTSD and that have service animals or, you know, mobility issues. And this is a fantastic hike for that, minus those 3 people. So this is great. There's a whole trail system. There is, that's closed for restoration. There is roller coaster. I think that's where I'm going. Roller coaster. Blue ribbon. I think I go on blue ribbon. Roller coaster sounds like a mountain bike trail. Okay, so let me go on blue ribbon down here. Yeah, I've got to kind of make this right turn. And I'm going all the way down. I don't know if I have to go back up a ridgeline and come back down that the way that I came up, or if it pops me out somewhere else. Let me take a look at the map. Okay, it looks like it's going to pop me out on some sort of service road. So I'm going to take an inner loop to get back. I think I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit and kind of do my own thing. So I don't really want to take the road back. That doesn't sound very fun. When I come back around like where it says 107, I'm going to kind of take a quick right and kind of do some inner trails and cut through and then come back down that ridge line on the Mushroom Rock Trail. So I think that'll be good. This is great though. Oh wow, this is beautiful. Who knew? Even though I've gone down in elevation, I'm now on a ridge line and still pretty high up, which is awesome. This is great. I was just talking to another lady. She just got a dog, an older lady, and the dog was on a leash and we were chatting for a bit. And she's like, yeah, my little dog doesn't know how little he is. And then there was a big, like massive, I don't know what it was, German Shepherd, just running around. So we waited for about a couple minutes until the human arrived. and then she told the other woman with the German Shepherd to like leash the dog. But yeah, her little dog was like, you know, all in like, you know, was it Rise Up the Cavalry or something? Like her little dog was in attack mode, but was on a leash because he, you know, you get terrified of big dogs. And her little dog didn't realize like how little he is. So he was like a little terrier. It was funny. But yeah, so yeah, we chatted for a bit and she's like, yeah, you know, I've got friends that, you know, train service dogs and stuff, and it was good. And but yeah, she's like, yeah, but I'm a new pet parent, so I'm not really, you know, I'm still learning everything. So it's good. Yeah, I chat to some people on the trail, you know, here and there. But yeah, usually it's like I'm just kind of in my own world, just thinking about, I don't know, NASA launch codes and cures for cancer and stuff, you know, all the important things. But yeah, this is great. Very shaded, which is fantastic. I love this red rock. This is like my happy place. This is definitely like Taos or, well, Sedona, whatever. Not allowed to park there. But this is fantastic. You know, I love hiking and I've always been outdoors in my whole life at some capacity. Yeah, I can't speak. In some capacity, I've been outside in my entire life. Like as a kid, running around barefoot, building tree houses in England and playing hide and seek, you know, in the cemetery, and riding my BMX bike around and going camping with my friends' families and stuff like that. So we were always outside, and mostly because back then, like everybody smoked and I could not stand being indoors. My sister smoked and I hated it. Like everything was just, it was nasty. So we'd be outside all the time. And sometimes I'd sleep in the tree house or, you know, like sleep at my friends' houses because I didn't want to be in my house. But yeah, so, you know, it really kind of forced me to be outside. And then, you know, in California, living there for 10 years almost, just how expensive it was to, you know, go anywhere or do anything. You just had to find free stuff to do. So I would rollerblade along Santa Monica Boulevard, you know, pretty much every other day if I could. Or I'd go hiking up into Mescal Canyon or Runyon Canyon, go up to Griffith Park, you know, go ride my mountain bike, just kind of like get out into the mountains, go out to Anza Borrego, Idlewild, Big Bear, you know, just really just would always go down to San Diego a lot. And just be outdoors as much as possible because it was free. And yeah, it's worth the $5 a gallon for gas, which it was like even 10 years ago, 12 years ago. But yeah, that's what we would do, and pack a lunch and kind of just do stuff for free. And yesterday when I was on the ski lift, I was talking to some of the guys. Once the ski lift opened after the rain check at Aspen, the guy was chatting with me and he's like, yeah, my roommate, you know, she wants to travel, but she does all these Airbnbs. I'm like, do trusted house sitters. You're trusted house sitters. You can, you know, babysit someone's house for a few weeks or a week or so. And, you know, you can live in great places for a little bit and go find stuff to do. And it's essentially free, you know, you've got somewhere to stay and you don't have to pay for it. So I was telling him some like tips and tricks onto like how to have a travel, you know, life. without having to, work 3 jobs to save up for a trip. It's like, how do you make your life your travel your life, basically. There's people who go, I have travel as a lifestyle, and they're like fake travel influencers, and they kind of give you this false narrative that, you could do this like them, but really, that's not really how it is. Like, they, I travel on the cheap, and they're spending $10,000 on a trip, but they're trying to make you think they're doing it for free. I don't know, stuff like that. I've seen all of that kind of stuff. But for me, it's like, what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG, this is it. This is everything I do, you see. Like, I have a van, and, that I own, and I, try to find as many free activities as possible. And I have, the veterans discount cards and the national park pass. So it's all about, for me, it's not about, having to save up for a year for a vacation. It's all about, how do you offset the cost of travel? Well, you figure that I haven't paid for a hotel at all this year, except for, did I have a hotel this year? I had one because I was flying back. But other than that, I've never had to, paid for like 3 hotels last year and 1 Airbnb out of the 300 days I was on the road. So you figure I've saved probably, a couple $100,000 in hotel fees, which, I would not be able to go the places I go and do the stuff I did if, I'm paying $150 a day just to sleep in a place that I'm in for, 8 hours. So things like that, making your own food, just buying your own equipment. Invest in your own equipment so you don't have to keep renting equipment every time you, you go and do something. Invest in a good bike rack, so you can bring your own bike with you. It's just, there's tips and tricks, things that you can do, so you don't, break the bank, or you don't have to wait 5 years to take a vacation. And that way you can incorporate travel into your life. Even when I had a full-time job, I was traveling, pretty much 5 p.m. on a Friday, getting on the road immediately and spending the weekend somewhere. Or I would, have a national holiday off, and I would stitch together the half day the Friday before, and then I had the Monday off for the holiday, and I take 4 days off for my, PTO, and then I have that extra weekend, and I end up making 4 days off work into 12 days. And sometimes I would leave the van until the next trip. So Memorial Day, I would leave the van somewhere after that trip, and then that way I don't have to drive back to Houston. And then I would fly back on, right before 4th of July, and go do the same 12-day trip during the 4th of July holiday, again stitching together the time and picking up the van and traveling. So there's a lot of ways to do it. It's a little bit of a game to figure it out. Oh, look, a bag of shit. Fantastic. I think it was that other woman with the German Shepherd. Oh, it just infuriates me. I'm not even an angry person, but that makes my inner Scorpio come out like you would not believe. Okay, now I'm going down the ridgeline. I'm about here. So when I get to the number 107 on the map here, I'm going to swing across right before that, because I think it's the service road I would take. So I'm going to take the inner loop, like the lowest dotted line, parallel to the road, and then they'll get me back to the parking lot. So it is only 3.5 miles. For some reason I thought it was 6 miles. I think I was thinking about Hanging Lake, the one that I can't do today because it's closed. But I will come back and do it. Again, Glenwood Springs is a place where I don't do everything in one day. Still haven't done the hot springs. I haven't done some of the cave tours and things, because this is a place where I'm always kind of passing through when I'm in Colorado. And I love to stop and just do one little thing here and there, every time I come back through here. It is really beautiful, this whole area. Really, really love the Glenwood Springs area. And it's a nice, refreshing stop after going down the hell that is the I-70, especially if you're coming from Vail, going through that 12,000 foot pass where everyone's like the Daytona 500 going 7,000 miles an hour like crazy, and you're just puttering along in the slow lane. But anyway, okay, so I think after this I'm going to go back to the cheapo gas station. For some reason, there's only one gas station in town where it's $3.09 a gallon. Everything else is $3.57 a gallon. So I'm going to go to the secret gas station and on Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy told me it was there. And then after that, I'm going to head into Grand Junction and take a shower. So yeah, so again, just, don't be a bad pet parent, please. You could really ruin somebody's day that's just trying to heal in nature. There's open spaces. You can let your dog run around freely. I love it when I see old people hiking. I'm like, I want to be them when I grow up. So I do hope I get to, continue this into my very, very, very old age. I'm almost 46, so I'm maybe halfway through, just, a little bit less than halfway through my life. The guru in India back in 2000 who did my astrological chart, I think he was high as a kite. But anyway, he told me in Varanasi along the river Ganges that I would live till I'm 94. So that's a good chunk of change right there. So hoping to make it to that, although that means I've got a whole nother, 40 odd years to go. So this is interesting. This is the Blue Spur. No hikers, bikes only on this part, one way. And then down here is Lower Three Gulch. And that's the one I'm going to take. So a little bit tricky. I got down to the road, kind of cut through the woods here to get back up to this trail. I didn't know how it connected to where I was just at. So yeah, this is up only for bikes. This is great. Share use BLM trails. Okay, yeah, so this is the mountain bike trail here. That goes up, and that's only one way. And then this one is up only. Okay, so now I got to figure out, I'm now on this, not what all trails are telling me to do, so I don't want to take the road. So I'm going to take this trail that's parallel, and I'm almost back. This is great. Now I have these switchbacks to get all the way down. I don't know how I still ended up, there's the parking lot. How I ended up so high up. Did I really go up that high on the other side? Because I've been descending for the last 2 miles. I guess it was a pretty steep climb. It didn't even feel like it. Not even for me with my, crap back. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a couple switchbacks. And there she is. Yay, that was great. A lot of cars, but wasn't really that busy. There is a whole trail system. So, everyone kind of disperses. Kind of breaks off and goes breaks off and does her own thing. Anyway, okay. All right, that was great. So let me see how long I've been hiking. All right, so I've gone almost 4 miles, hour and 47 minutes. I didn't really go very fast because I thought I was hiking for 6 miles, so I didn't want to exert myself. This one is do not enter up here, so I think that's the bike trail that comes down. So that's a one-way bike trail. And this one, yeah, that's cool. Well, thank you for having Sea Line. Okay, so yeah, that's what people are telling me in Deer Valley, to go do the trails and not do the bike park over in Salt Lake City. So this is fantastic. I'd love to mountain bike here actually at some point. So this is all mountain biking. So you have footprints and you have tire tracks. So yeah, Lower Three Gulch. Okay, so let's make our way back to the van and then we're done. Yay, ended up being fantastic. Little bit of a rocky start, pun intended, with the crappy pet parents. But again, if you don't think, if you think that that's not an issue for, people not following the rules, then you're part of the problem. And don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. And I'm not afraid to speak up. I don't care if somebody, screams at me because of it. I'm like, you're just mad because you're wrong. I am literally I'm pointing at the sign and you're screaming at me because I'm pointing at the sign and you're breaking that rule. So it's just, there's a million reasons why, you've got to just, somebody obviously did their research and came up with that rule that your dog has to be on a leash. It's not because they want to inconvenience you. And that's an incredibly narcissistic response. If you think that someone came up with that rule just to piss you off so that you can't walk with your dog without a leash. It's not about you. It's about everybody else that wants to hike on here, especially people with trauma that want to heal in nature and not get triggered by Fido running up to them. Anyway, I've seen everything. I've hiked all over this country and I've seen the worst of the worst and I've seen the best of the best. And I just want to look out for my fellow battle buddy, Just be a good human. Okay, we're back at the trailhead. That was spectacular. Highly recommend the mushroom rock, which I missed. I think I was actually standing on it at one point. So Mushroom Rock and then Three Gulch to something else. And there we go. It's about a 2-hour hike, 4 miles, and now back to the van.